Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Football Temple Nigeria, the Monday edition. My name is Indomitable Lions. I am not doing this alone. As usual, I'm doing this with
Jamie in the building. It feels so good to be back in the temple.
All right. We start off this week's edition of the Temple Edition with Arsenal. Arsenal, um,
Don't even go there.
Arsenal played out a 2-1 game with Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday. But the crazy thing about that game is that Wolves scored all 3 goals, but Arsenal took all 3 points.
How will I explain to my child about this in the next 30 years?
How will I tell my son that there was a game once upon a time? Arsenal under Mikel Arteta played a game. They got all 3 points, but the opposing team, Wolverhampton Wanderers, scored all 3 goals. So, Jamie, how far? What happened there? Saturday, Arsenal was at the Emirates Stadium.
First of all, I have a special, note to all my haters. Now they message me. Game never finished. They message me.
Oh, very good.
So you see that game? Oh, it was so bitter to watch, having to see the way Arsenal played, and
Arsenal's performance was very poor.
it was very very poor. And I think one of the issues is I've noticed about clubs when they come out to play, clubs like Manchester City, Chelsea, Man U, they come out to play. But when it comes to Arsenal, they go back to build this wall of Jericho, and Arsenal begins to find a way to how they crack. And I would say that the injuries happening to Arsenal had also, affected the way they play. And these guys are not machine. They played back to back 3 games in the space of 7 days. And
But then, looking at it, right? If we're going to be making excuses with that, there are other teams who have managed to get through this period with similar
but
challenges
my
and won the
question
league.
is, many of those teams, how many competition are they playing? Arsenal play Champions League. Arsenal is still in the Carabao Cup. Arsenal is still in the FA Cup.
The FA Cup has not started officially.
Yes, but in the space of how many days? Arsenal has played Champions League, Premier League, Premier League.
Man City is playing the same amount of
Yes,
games.
Man City is still playing the same amount, but they're not suffering with any injuries.
So the thing is,
Funny enough, even against Wolves, Saliba got back, White is out. You could see that's how Arsenal's injury has
and
been
Timber
so
is still
poor.
out.
Timber is still out, so it's more like you come, I go, you come, I go, turn by turn. So,
So does it mean that even the squad depth that Arsenal bragged with at the beginning of the season is not even helping at this particular point in time? Because I
no,
mean,
remember when in our first edition when we spoke about Arsenal, I said one thing clearly. I said, the only thing that will stop Arsenal from winning the league is injury. Aside from that, I really don't see anyone stopping them, not even CE. I'm saying it again, not even Manchester City will stop Arsenal.
speaking of Arsenal, Man City, they've had a fine run of form in recent weeks. I did mention that City were not to be written off. Currently, City is second. Are you thinking what I am thinking? Because after that victory against Crystal Palace in London, Man City 3-0 winners against Crystal Palace, the better side yesterday. Are you seeing Man City mounting a challenge? Do you see Man City winning the trophy this season?
Actually, I don't see Man City winning the trophy this season. And come to think of it, Crystal Palace had lots of chances, to punish City, and they didn't convert anyone. I still feel that City will drop points. I see it happening.
But the thing is, Pep Guardiola has been he literally has said at times without numbers at the beginning of the season. He said the season is just starting out. That he's very experienced with this kind of runs. And apparently the experience seems to be showing now because we have how many games into the season, and what we're seeing is an Arsenal performance that appears to be dropping. Guardiola, on the other hand, and the City boys tend to be picking up from just at the most important point of the season. And, it's just a 2 points gap, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
between them and Arsenal. So it just one game where Arsenal will lose and they win, and they've gone top of the table. And one thing that you can't chase Man City once they get on top of the table.
I still say it clearly that City will try everything as possible, but I still see City dropping a point because you have games coming up. You have Chelsea to play, you have Aston Villa to play.
You think
So
you think Aston Villa can
Aston
put up a
Villa, the
surprise
same
against
Aston
Chelsea?
Villa
I mean,
that beat
it's not.
City, the
It's
same Aston Villa with currently 9 runs. No, 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 no. See, Guardiola would only do everything possible in terms of playing, the psychological games. We've done it before. We
mm,
know Arsenal, but I don't see Arsenal cracking. If Arsenal truly wants to win the league, this is where it matters. You have to, go beyond the line. People will say all sort of, you guys have come closer, first time, second time, third time, and it's beginning to look like a tradition. I don't see City stop, because also if Arsenal have most of their players come back to, to the starting 11, they also could go on. We've seen them do it before.
but that's
10
not.
games run.
Do you think Arsenal need to but this is December, in a few weeks we'll be in January. Do you think Arsenal need to strengthen their squad ahead of the January in the January transfer window, ahead of the long run that is coming, because you have a lot of
And
players who are out. And of course, we know that a full Arsenal squad, a full Arsenal house is a formidable squad, but we seem not to have that available right now. Gabriel Magalhaes is injured. You just mentioned that Ben White is out, and Timber is also out. A lot of top Arsenal players are out currently. Do you think Arsenal needs to get into the market?
I actually don't feel Arsenal should get into the market. They should not panic, because by next year,
Mm.
key players should be back. Timber, I think, should be available. Trossard is back. I think the only player that will be out on a longer period of time is Gabriel.
Mm.
Or anything aside from that, according to what Mikel Arteta said, that they've not even had the time to train, because the game has been, back to back, back to back. And when we go into January, it will be much more, a bit lesser. But the fact that Arsenal is also playing other competition, they should be prepared to,
Which
forfeit
which
on.
which is why I am saying, if Arsenal is competing on all three fronts, right? If Arsenal is competing against so many teams at once, would it be fair to say, look, you guys have a run of injury problems. You have key players out of certain positions. Um, if you want to maintain run, because look, 5, 10 years from now, nobody's going to remember, oh, they had an injury prone season. The only thing people will remember is, did you win the trophy or did you not win the trophy? If Arsenal wants to mount a serious challenge for the Premier League and the Champions League, don't you think they need to get into the market and do some business in January?
I actually don't feel they need to go into the market. Like the team is quite okay, and I keep saying it.
The team is
As
okay
yeah,
when it's a complete team.
yeah, even
We're
even
talking
with the
about an injury
even with the
depleted team.
injury itself, when you bring in one or two players,
Mhm.
that's, you've already destabilized the numbers of team, because when you eventually have your complete squad, where do you put the remaining loan players or player that you sign in? So
On the bench.
it's not even advisable, because at the end of the day, this injury could touch everybody. City don't have any injury record right now, but you never can tell how the second half might be.
Are you wishing City injuries?
Anything to make Arsenal fans happy.
All right. So away from Arsenal and City, please share with us what you think in the comment section.
Mhm.
What do you think will happen at the end of the season by May 2026? Do you see Arsenal maintaining this particular run and going on to win the Premier League trophy for the first time since 2004? Or do you see City doing what they usually do, overtaking Arsenal, and of course going on to win that Premier League trophy? And this would be what Guardiola's sixth trophy in
Yeah.
as many years. I mean, away from Manchester City and Arsenal, Liverpool seems to be finding their rhythm, and the Egyptian Pharaoh, the
Mm.
king himself, Mo Salah, is back and he's in the peak of actions. What do you think about the whole thing? How do you think Liverpool fans would feel seeing Mo Salah back and getting involved in goals there? What do you think will
Yeah.
happen? What do you think is running through Ancelotti's mind? Do you think this settles whatever it is beef or that's going on in Liverpool?
I think it was good to see Musala, back, and also having make an assist on that game. But if there's anything I'm probably going to say is that, for someone like Musala,
Mm.
when it comes to, a club who has served you so well, bringing trophies, giving all in the best, and having to see club and players have these issues, it's never ends well. You could look at what
Never
happened.
enter for the club or the
It
player.
never ends well for the player, because if you look at what happened at Manchester United, Ronaldo versus Eric Ten Hag, also a Dutch, there are a lot of issues that was going on,
Do you
and
think Dutch coaches have a problem handling big players?
I think it's beginning to look like a pattern. Son said the same thing about Eritrea. Son said the same thing about Slot. Son said the same thing too about the man who also coached Manchester United at that time too,
Louis van Gaal.
Luis Van Gaal. That these guys are sometimes they have the capability of having to influence too much how the player should do, how everything. They are just like that, and I really don't want to take that as um, acceptance of this is how these coaches are. But I just
Mm,
really feel that for someone like Musala and Slot, I remember I said it in our edition that for someone like Slot, when the players begin to lose faith in you and
mm,
the dressing room begins to feel like a crack, it becomes a big issue because players now have doubt to trust you, and
yeah.
the senior players who were there before you came in,
Mm.
begin to dictate that this man is not capable of leading
But
us
but
well.
but do you think this Salah issue has been settled?
I think for me, it has not been settled. I was reading a tweet online. Someone said if it's not the injury that happened to a particular player,
Mm.
Liverpool player, Salah would not have played that game. But it was due to
But you know, fair enough. Maybe there was an injury that gave him the opportunity to play. But him coming on, being involved in a goal, providing an assist, it just goes to show the Liverpool fans and the Liverpool, and the entire Liverpool fan base, and of course the management, why they are paying this guy so much money. You don't pay so much money and then put someone on the bench. If you want to sell him in January, if you want to sell him in the summer, fair and good, all fair, all is fair in love and war. But if you are still paying him that amount of money and he still wears your club colors, donning your club badge, of course, make good use of him while he's still available.
I
What do you
still
think?
I still feel that Mo Salah, we all know Mo Salah. Even during the time of Jurgen Klopp, he had this also run of not scoring, not assisting, a little bit of deep in form.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, going second half of the season, Mo Salah came out as one of the saviors for Liverpool. So one of the issues also is the team is not doing well. So if the team is not doing well, you cannot scapegoat one person and say, oh, maybe it's Musala that is the issue. You have Isak, popularly also called as Isakaba, not playing fine. Ekitikete is there. You have some
Ekitike,
kekes. A lot of players are not playing fine, but you cannot just scapegoat Salah and
Ekitike
say, you
is
know,
is is
is what
is starting to kind of like pick up.
it's starting. Thank God you're using the word starting to kind of pick up. Now the truth is you cannot just scapegoat one man and say, oh, because of Salah, let's see. Other people are not playing fine. If it was okay, switching it, Salah will not play this game, this person will play, it would have been much more better. But I really don't see how the issue would have gotten to that level whereby Salah comes out, grant an interview, ranting and also slots, throwing banter to his player. It's beginning to look like the house is unsettled. For me, I have always said it every now and then that when they won that Premier League, Salah should have left, accepted the bid. There are a lot of clubs that want you to play top levels European club, or you go to Saudi Arabia to make your money, or America. But having him stay, clubs have a special way they treat players that they're in their 30s. Chelsea, they will never give an extended contract. They'll never even increase your pay. Even Arsenal
Ah,
currently, all of the club also doing it. Once you cross into the age of 30, they'll have a
ah,
talk with you. We give you 1 year or 1 year extension. You have the opportunity to renew, but your salary would not increase. That's what they did to
Thomas
Thomas
Partey.
Partey. That's what they did
So,
to Trossard at
uh,
the moment. So it's one of those things. Once you're 30
how
above,
how do why do not how now? Why do Premier League clubs treat players above 30 like they're trash? And then the Italian league, the Serie A, seems to have a special love for them. And what you see happens, one classic example, the most recent example that I remember is Henrik Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan had his run with Manchester United, moved to Arsenal. After a while, they started saying, sell that guy. Mkhitaryan moved to Italy, and he was part of the Inter squad that got to the Champions League final. He did a lot of years, gave the Serie A lot of years, and he wasn't just playing for fringe clubs; he was playing for main teams. Like he literally was a key part of the squad that got Inter Milan to the Champions League final, and they had a fantastic season. They
you
also
know,
won the Serie A. So why is it different for English clubs? Jamie Vardy is also having the time of his life in Italy. We've had a lot of players.
when you look at the Premier League, Emeka, you realize that the Premier League deals with pace. When you look at Spanish La Liga, technicality.
Mhm.
When you look at the when you look at the Serie
Serie
A,
A.
you see a lot of physical. That's why you could see players like Bonucci,
Mhm.
Chenili.
Mhm.
These guys played till when they're 34, and we're still doing great and mighty
Mm.
things at that age. Ramos and the rest. So the league also, helps these players adapt. See Alexis Sanchez going all around, then going to Inter Milan, also winning trophies with them.
Yeah, yeah. Sanchez
Another
you could
example. See,
see
Ibrahimovic also moving from Inter to AC Milan and
and
coming to Premier League.
Juve.
So it's one of those things that the leagues carry over there. They appreciate, older, because they believe this is where, okay, we want to see you putting that experience into work. This is where, you get to meet a lot of people around your age grade, leading teams, finding yourself in top 11s and top clubs. But in
Mhm.
Premier League, the moment you are 31, 32, 33, there's this
Some Premier
some
League
sort
clubs
of
starts running
declines.
once you hit 29.
So you can see there's this sort of decline, except if you are probably a goalkeeper or even maybe a
I can
striker who is currently on the peak of football, like
I
someone
can
like
tell
Harry Kane.
yeah, I can tell you for free that if a player like Mo Salah is to go to a league, like if he goes back to the Serie A, he still has solid 5 years of top football in him.
Definitely.
If he's playing for an Inter Milan or for a Juventus
Because
or for even an
mm-hmm,
AC Milan or
that's right.
Roma or
For
even
Napoli.
Lazio or Napoli, look at Kevin De
Yeah,
Bruyne, for
I was about
example.
to say that too.
He was the minute he got to a certain age, Man City were like, oh no, you can't renew his
Mm-hmm.
contract. He has to go, and he's in Italy.
Yeah.
He's raking in the numbers when it comes to assist, and he's doing what he does best. I mean, it's one of those things. Yeah, it's one of those things with football. It's just one of those things that it doesn't really add up for
Like
me.
like they say classes. How did they say it again? They say class is permanent, form
Form
is
is
temporary.
temporary. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne is a very good example of how class is permanent. Anyway, Premier League table, Aston Villa is third.
Mm.
Is it time we start calling Aston Villa title contenders?
I will never even. I will not call them contenders. I will not call them pretenders. Those guys that we've seen it before. Una Emery, always, show, he did it at Arsenal.
They're just
Having
3 points behind us now at
yeah.
this point.
I'm not. See, mark my words. When it comes into the second half of the season, at the key place when Una Emery is supposed to be securing maybe top four, top three, watch him move out of that position.
So you
Watch him move
so
out
so
of that
so so,
position.
so you think they're not in real contention for the
Nah,
title?
I've seen this happen multiple times, and Una Emery that I know, when it gets to the ending of
It
the
might be a
league.
different season for them because if you're going to be banking on seeing it happen multiple times, everybody could as well say the same for Arsenal,
Mhm.
saying that you guys don't worry, second half of the season you're going to drop to
There's a
second.
Chelsea also there. Chelsea is. I know. I told you about Chelsea. Also is currently in contention for top four. You have
They're
Chelsea,
in contention for top four, yeah, but I would pick Aston Villa as title contenders before I pick Chelsea.
Aston
No
Villa. For
shade.
me, when it gets to the next 10 games, end of the season, watch them drift out of top
I
four.
have a controversial opinion.
Okay, tell me.
I still think Liverpool would find their
I
way
actually don't think
back
Liverpool will find their way.
to title
Two clubs
contention.
that I don't see in top six: Manchester United and Liverpool.
No,
Two
I
clubs:
disagree.
Manchester United and
I
Liverpool.
disagree. I
This
think
is not a banter. This is how I see it. Manchester United and Liverpool. They are
so.
not going to make the top six.
So for me personally, I think Liverpool will make top three.
Why did you say
I
that?
think Liverpool will make top three.
Why?
The season is still a long way out, right? Liverpool is for the past, I think, almost 10 years has showed a level of consistency that makes it impossible to completely write them off. Will they win the title? Probably not. Mathematically, it's still possible, but with the form and everything, unless they do magic in January in the transfer window, but I don't see that happening. Or there's really nothing much to do in the transfer window. They've done all their businesses in the summer and they brought in really quality players. If they blend and
When, when they go
no,
blend.
if them blend, if them blend, they can have an amazing season. But I don't know if it will be enough
But
to challenge for the shot.
one thing I like about the Premier League, the if the Premier League is so chaotic that you cannot predict what happens in the next 3 4 days.
Which is why I say don't write Liverpool off. Chelsea, nah, not so. They are going through a mental crisis at Chelsea. I don't know what's happening there. It's just I
But
don't.
they won their last weekend game.
Chelsea is the hallmark of inconsistency in the last couple of years. I would refer to them as one of the luckiest clubs alive because you see, oh, world champions are fair and good, but how did they get there? UEFA created a third tier competition for clubs to go and spend time and for them to generate revenue. Chelsea went there, bullied Noah FC,
They played
all
against
these
prisoners.
prisoners,
Jerusalem
carpenters,
FC.
carpenters, people who play football only in the evening and go to their day jobs at night. And then they emerged champions. Some of the clubs that they played, I can't even pronounce the names. Emerged champions, fair and square. They are in the World Club Cup because FIFA is doing what is looking for a holiday tournament in America, scrapped the original format, brought in a new format, and they had a good run, got to the final. Whatever happened to PSG on the day, I have no idea. They capitulated, and then Chelsea are world champions. But Chelsea, we cannot deny the fact that they've not been the Chelsea we knew since Roman Abramovich left the helm. If it was under Roman, I would say, yeah, Chelsea, they're serious contenders. Right now, I don't know the direction where they're going. I don't know if they're going left or they're going right. I mean, they would like to think that they're serious title contenders, but I just don't see that happening. I don't see Chelsea and Manchester United for me, they are not in the fray. Liverpool, they're a serious team.
So
And
you believe Liverpool
I believe
would be ahead of
strong,
Chelsea?
of
Top four.
course. Liverpool and Chelsea no be mates. Now, why did you like this? They're not mates.
Obama, you.
Manchester United's problem is spiritual. It's spiritual.
So they won't make top four.
Man, I don't see them making top four. Not with this run of form that Chelsea might even make top four ahead of Man U. But Liverpool is definitely making top three. I think Liverpool will mount top three. Definitely making top three. They'll mount a serious challenge for second place. But I don't see them winning the league because
there's Sutherland there. Sutherland also.
guy. Let's get to the second half of the season. We'll start hearing about. We'll start to find out the difference between 6.5 a dozen.
Okay.
And we'll know the difference between title contenders and
Title pretenders.
and people who are having a good run. Crystal Palace is there too, but I don't see them
Crystal
doing
Palace.
anything
Nah.
magnificent. Liverpool, on the other hand, I think they have what it takes, and I think they'll bounce back. What is happening to Tottenham Hotspur?
Spursy. Let me use the word.
What is happening to Spurs? Do you think they should not have fired them?
I think they made the best decision by letting Angel go and bringing Thomas Frank.
Are you sure it's the best decision?
I just
like that.
Like according to what the coach said, to turn around Spurs issue right now needs you need time. So if you're looking for a quick fix, then you have to keep going.
Tottenham have always needed time. When have they not needed time? I think the only coach who came into Tottenham and did something that everybody felt the impact was Mauricio Pochettino. Since he left, they've always needed time. AVB was there.
But you remember that
Mourinho was there.
Same time, Mourinho came and told them that since he's going to coach the club, that they're going to win at least one trophy. That same season, Mourinho got into the final. They sacked Mourinho few days to the final, and they lost the final.
I mean, if Tottenham had not won the Europa League last season, the banters would have been flying up and down. It would have been crazy. And no kudos to Manchester United for handing them that. But I mean, what is actually happening at Spurs? Because this new guy seems to be, he probably has not hit the ground running. What's the problem? What do you think is happening there? Do you think it's the competitive nature of the league? Do you think it's okay? You've said they need more time. Do you see Tottenham finishing top 4 this season?
I actually don't see Tottenham finishing top 4 this season. Like we've all know Tottenham to be that club that inconsistency every now and then. But also not to discredit what the coach has been doing. He has been trying every possible best to bring them back to that level that everyone see Tottenham compete and all of those things.
Do you think he has what it takes?
I think he does, but he needs time actually. But at the same time, the players that they have currently in Tottenham are not one of those players that you need like a Son, like an Harry Kane. These players are also young, are also coming together to form a good side for the club. But at the same time, if they go ahead to change Thomas Frank. Who is out there that they want to bring in?
Big
Maybe except
question.
you want to bring in someone like Ange back to come and continue what he has started.
I think they should not have let him go. I genuinely think he should have been given another season, if not for anything, for the fact that he
He
won
won
them
the
the
trophy.
Europa League. I think it would have been way better to have given him another season. But Nottingham Forest seems to be at the bottom half of the table, even with all the big wins that they've been pulling off. They beat Liverpool 3-0, they beat Tottenham 3-0, and still they are 16th. Wolverhampton Wanderers, on the other hand, seems to be in love with the championship. They're hell bent on going back there. I don't know what they left there, but we'll definitely find out because they're definitely going back. So I'm going to ask you
Mhm.
3 teams you see getting relegated this season.
Mm. This is actually a tough one. I actually don't see Wolves relegating because they'll be among the key clubs that will do a lot of damage second half of the season. They'll fight for their life.
Wolves?
I really don't see them. Clubs that will go back, Burnley. I see Burnley going back. I see Leeds also going back. Burnley, Leeds, I see them going back. Nottingham Forest, no. I don't really see them going back. I really don't see
That's
Nottingham Forest
another
going.
club with a lot of issues.
I
From
don't see them
Champions
because
League,
when it gets to that point whereby clubs are beginning to fight for their life, trust me, these clubs know what to do. Bring in someone that will
Wolves
come and
have
save.
not won a single game this season.
And don't be surprised that when we get into the new year, you might turn a new leaf.
Now Jesus won't play the ball for them. Because
I'm serious. This is the same thing that we had that time too when Nottingham Forest was struggling. People were like, they will leave. They will not leave. They will just get in, a quick fix that will just come in. Someone like Sam Allardyce, in that same same group, just come and help us
But
rescue the job,
but
and
Big Sam does know how to get results in situations like
so I,
this.
I really do.
But
I
I
really don't see
think
them.
if I'm going to nominate a candidate for relegation this season, in fact, Wolverhampton Wanderers should start paying their kit makers to remove that Premier League logo they usually put and put their EFL Championship logo, because they're definitely going back, man. I don't see them even surviving this. I don't see them surviving this. Anyway, so you don't see Tottenham top four this
I
season?
don't see them top four this
Do you
season.
think Aston Villa is going to make top four?
Aston Villa won't make top four. Arsenal won, winners of the league. City second, Chelsea 4, and I said something again, Sunderland.
I think it will be Arsenal, City, Liverpool, and Chelsea.
I don't see Liverpool. See that Man U and Liverpool, 5,
I'm not.
6.
I'm not thinking about Manchester United.
Don't be there.
I'm not thinking about
Don't be
Manchester
there.
United. I think it's Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea. My top four for this season, anyway. Anyway, a bit away from England and the Premier League, Madrid, Barcelona. There seems to be, of course, as usual, two-horse race for the La Liga. Who do you see? Xabi Alonso has been struggling in
Big
Spain.
time.
There have
Big
been
time.
talks. In fact, what we now get is before every game, you hear that, oh boy, if you lose, we go sack you.
With all the Mbappe, Julian Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vinicius.
Vinicius. Alonso they take. Oh my goodness, guy. But what's happening to Alonso at Madrid?
You know, when you have a club star-studded and you're a young, let me not even use the word experience coach, young coach who's trying to like build some sort of experience, there is so much that you can handle. And when you have a club like Madrid who don't even care if you are their, legend, who maybe you won trophies for them, all they want is instant results because of Barcelona. And having to see how Alonso has started, I really think that there's a whole lot of quick fix. It's not even about the coach this time around. It's about the players. There's too much of most times when I watch Real Madrid play, I see this sort of now my carcass be this. Now this person I go pass through. I no go pass for this person. They're not playing as a team. It's been a huge issue for them because when you look at how they play, they're not playing as a team. They need to sit down and talk to themselves as a player
But
and say,
that goes back to the coach.
Mm.
I think the coach, if a club, if a team is not playing like a team and they have a lot of good players, it means something is missing in training. There's something missing in the tactics. He's probably introducing strategies that they're new to, or stuff that they're not used to. So for me, Xabi Alonso now gets a sack notice before every game. I don't know if he's going to make it to the end of the season, but I do think that they should give him time, 2 seasons at least, to stamp his fate on Madrid.
And
And,
I also feel like get taking the Madrid job was more for me. It shouldn't have been the best move for Xabi Alonso
he should have
because
stayed in Germany.
just stay in Germany. Do what you're doing. Get a bigger club will come for you. But
Does it get bigger than Real Madrid?
yeah, a club like Manchester United will come for him. A club like Chelsea could come for
No,
him.
Manchester
You know,
United. Ke.
a
Nah.
club like Liverpool could come for him at the end of the
I
day.
mean,
But the Madrid job, two jobs that I wouldn't even advise any coach to take right now. Don't take a Madrid job because taking that job is more like you inviting pressure to yourself. Whether you are winning or you are not winning, there are criteria that you must meet. They might tell you, okay, we want to win the league, you must give us the Champions League, and you cannot deliver the two trophies. They'll still let you go. No,
Sure.
and that's why a coach like Zidane would not want to come back there at this point in time. He would rather prefer to wait for the France job or just find something else
Do you
doing.
even see that opening up anytime soon?
Nah, he won't come back to Madrid.
Okay. So Barcelona, they seem to be runaway leaders there. 43 points, Real
Mm-hmm.
Madrid 93,
Mm-hmm.
39 points, Villarreal 35 points, Atletico Madrid 34 points. Look, this La Liga,
Two
uh,
horse
pe-
race.
people that always call it the best league in the world, the Lord is your strength, though. Anyway, because it's really nothing much happening there aside from Madrid and Barca. And, any season where Atletico Madrid, they in the mood, they turn up. If they know they in the mood, then go leave am for the big boys. Kwa. But I mean, let's come to the big one and the final one for today. The Super Eagles have released their 23-man list for the African Cup of Nations in Morocco from the 21st of December till the 18th of January. And a lot has been said about that list. A lot of
A
people
lot.
have said a lot of things. This list has generated a lot of reactions, and people are asking questions. Why was Madikau Koyi dropped from the squad?
I think it's a big question to ask because Maduka Okoye currently is doing so well with Udinese, and having to see his name not on that list is not a good thing because you need someone who can compete, who can push Mwabali, in that competition. We've seen what has happened in our qualifiers for World Cup. The tiny errors that Mwabali is always making is because there's nobody who could um remove him off that spot as a second choice goalkeeper. It's just been that comfortability for him. I just really feel like Maduka Okoye would have been that goalkeeper to be able to compete in this AFCON. But having to not see his name is not. I really do not know what was behind it. I really do not know what led or what transpired to not having his name. But it's
I
not
mean,
a
he's
good
had
one.
he's had an amazing season for at least a stable season for Udinese in Italy. So for the goalkeeping department, we have Stanley Nwabili, Francis Uzoho, Amas Obasoge, three goalkeepers. Defenders, we have Calvin Bassi, Zaidu Sanusi, Semi Ajayi, Bruno Nemechi, Igor Obu, Chidozie Awazim,
Mm-hmm.
Bright Osai Samuel, Ryan Alibiosu.
Mm-hmm.
Midfielders, we have Wilfred Ndidi, Frank Oneka, Fisaya Dele Bashiru, Mohamed Usman, Alex Iwobi, Ebenezer Akin Samiru, Rafael Onyedika, Tuchuku Nnadi, and of course the star-studded attacking lineup: Ademola Lukman, Victor Osimhen, two African Footballers of the Year in this squad. I don't know if that will be enough to get us across the line and get us the Nations Cup trophy for the fourth time and the first time since 2013. Akol Adams is also on the list. Samuel Chukwueze, Cyril Dessers finally makes the cut. Samuel Salim Fago, Moses Simon. A lot of people have said that he should not have been on the list.
And
Chidera
don't support
Ejuke
his name on that list.
and Paul Onachu.
Eh,
Who do you think should not have made this list?
you know, I've said it right from time that I appreciate what Ndidi is doing. It's He's an amazing guy off and on the pitch, but I really don't think
You don't think he should have been on that
he
list?
should have been on that list.
Mm.
Same with Moses Simon too, because um year in year out I've watched Moses Simon play, and I don't really see the qualities he bring to the squad. So it's somehow having to see some certain names come back on that list, and
Names like
names like Ndidi, names like Moses Simon, Chigozie Awazium, are on that
Chigozie
same list.
Awazium, yeah.
Like, I really don't know what these guys want to bring to the Super Eagles. I just really feel like
Experience, maybe.
experience. We went, we couldn't even make it to the when World Cup in the D. Moses, all these guys are experienced players. They could not even deliver the ticket for us. Now they are on this same list again, and we are still saying the same thing. Experience. They can't bring us experience, but what errors? They will continue to bring us errors, because we've seen it over time and over time. We've
Yeah.
seen it. So I really don't know what this list would
So
would take us to.
there's also another list. There's also another list of Super Eagles 11 that will not be making it to the AFCON in 2025. There's okay, so I'm going to take up that list. Of course, one of the most famous omissions from the list is our social media favorite Victor Boniface. But Marco Okoye is in goal. Why was Benjamin Frederick dropped?
Injury.
That's
That's so painful. That's one of those guys that a lot of people were looking forward to in AFCON.
So make this make sense. Marco Okoye, Benjamin Frederick, okay, he was dropped for injury. Sad, totally heartbreaking. He had an amazing qualifying run. Ola Aina, should Ola Aina has been dropped?
Also, too, I think due to the fact that he has not really, had a good time with Nottingham Forest yet. So
William Tristekong was also dropped. T. Dele Bashiru, Chrysanthus Uche, the Crystal Palace man. But
I've not even seen much of him. Also, too, in
yeah,
Crystal Palace.
I saw some tweets saying that he should even be happy that he was dropped because he wasn't even going to start, and that gives him time to stamp his authority at the Crystal Palace team. Because a couple of Crystal Palace players are going for the Nations Cup. You know, Dele Bashiru, Victor Boniface, Tolu Arokadari missed that important goal in the qualifiers against Congo. I think this last name is a justifiable dropping. If Kelechi Iheanacho had made that squad list for cup protests, because Iheanacho has not been, I mean, senior man. Yes, we know he's a senior man, but
I think
his form has been.
It's been a whole lot for him after he left Leicester City, and he has to link up back with his former boss,
Brendan Rodgers.
and he has not really picked that form. There's been a lot of stories around his fitness and all of those things, and I just really feel like players like Ian Acho, they've been able to do their beats in Super Eagles, but we don't need them. We need fresh players that can give everything that they can give. Players that are ready to go all the way out for and play for the badge.
I think Iheanacho being dropped is justifiable for me because I don't see any special thing that he's bringing to the squad. I do have a problem with certain names on this list, but I'm going to trust. Let's trust the wisdom of the coaches or the NFF. We don't know who made this pick. There have been accusations and counter accusations about who makes the choices when it comes to players who gets to a tournament, and of course even players who start.
I'm still shocked to see Frank Uzoho there. I'm still sure.
Francis Uzoho.
I'm still sure. Shocked, man.
Maybe he has a praying mother.
Oh my God! But honestly, I know a lot of people are looking out to see what Nigeria would be able to give out in Morocco. And like I've said it, I really don't see them leaving that group. This is not as a result of not being patriotic. I really don't, because when you look at every time when we come up with squad names and all of these things, we go for competition. We don't use these players to their exact position. Look at someone like Chukwueze playing from the left flank. delivering assists week in week out for Fulham. And when it comes into Super
Super
Eagles
Eagles.
wearing the badge and all of those things, realize that this guy plays like he has no business being here. So there's a big issue. It's not
Samuel
even about
Chukwueze hardly shows up for the Super Eagles in most cases.
except from when we were playing for the World Cup playoff, and we saw a little glimpse of
Yeah.
what Chukwueze, what everyone is looking forward to, what people are expecting Chukwueze to be like on the pitch. So it's just that same story, and that's why I said, we cannot judge based on, Moses Simon did this in this year AFCON. He's going to bring. Nah, we've seen it continuously, qualifiers. What these guys cannot even give a good cross, cannot jumble his marker. So what is he doing on the list?
So, still on the African Cup of Nations, away from the Super Eagles, we're moving on to our very good neighbors, the Cameroonian national team. There seems to be drama going on in Cameroon.
Big drama,
Big drama.
big one.
So the Cameroonian Football Federation, popularly known as the FECAFOOT, led by your one and only, the very popular Samuel Eto'o, who had a stellar career playing in top clubs in Europe, from Real Madrid to Real Mallorca to Barcelona, Chelsea, and of course, hanging his boots in Russia with Anzi Makatkala, is now federation president for the Cameroonian Football Federation, and one would expect that place to be well run, but apparently it's not happening. The national team has 2 Nations Cup lists. So the gist in town is that Samuel Eto'o and his federation, Samuel Eto'o personally, they say he runs the place like a landlord, and he runs the federation like his personal property. He has his own list. The Ministry of Sport appointed another coach. So I'm going to be very particular and read out the names. So the Cameroonian Football Federation, led by President Samuel Eto'o, the country's Ministry of Sport seem to have been, they're still involved in a deep conflict as to who takes charge for the upcoming African Cup of Nations. The Ministry of Sport appointed Mark Bryars as the head coach. Bryars, who was appointed by the Ministry of Sport, named a team for the tournament. Now, FECAFOOT president Samuel Eto'o subsequently announced the dismissal of Mark Bryars, named David Pago as the new coach, and released a completely different 28-man squad from where they'll make the choice for 25 players under Pago. Now, Eto'o's list excluded several star players, including veteran striker Vincent Abubakar, goalkeeper Andre Onana. So on Abubakar's side, the report or the rumors say that there's a particular record that Samuel Eto'o is the only person who is holding goal scoring record, that Samuel Eto'o is the only person who is holding for Cameroon.
So
that
no one need a break.
he doesn't want anybody to break it, and Vincent Abubakar happens to have an opportunity to do that in this particular AFCON. So there's accusations and counter accusations, and apparently Samuel Eto'o is doing a terrible job as the Cameroonian FA president. I know that there are issues. I know that federation presidents have issues. I know that governments, and even the FIFA says we don't want politics meddling in football. We know that there's a lot of politics going on, but I think personally, and this is my 2 cents, that if Samuel Eto'o cannot put his house in order, and we're having all sorts of issues, like, even the PDP has a better coordination than the Cameroonian Football Federation at this point. Because why do you have 2 lists? Are you the PDP that has 2 national executives? So which faction is the weaker faction?
Merit list and merit list and direct list.
So basically, Samuel Eto'o and his Cameroonian Football Federation, they're running the place like the PDP, and it's very funny because the PDP's colors are very similar to that of the Cameroonian national team. There's a green, there's a red, and I think we need to borrow the Cameroonian national team an umbrella and add white to their color, so we go just know say they don't open PDP chapter for Cameroon. Because why do you have 2 national team lists? What is going on there? Why do you have 2 lists? And if it is true that Samuel Eto'o does not want his record broken. I've never heard about anything more shallow. Bro, you don't go play forever. You're retired, man. Let the younger ones shine. Records are meant to be broken. I don't get it,
You
guy.
know, when I saw that news, the rumor, flying around, that was last week, saying the reason why Vincent Abubakar was not listed was because of that Samuel Eto'o record. I was like, but you know, let's look at it from this angle, because when they went to their last AFCON, Samuel Eto'o was still their FA, and Vincent Abubakar was on the list. So why should it be right now going for AFCON? I still feel that it might not really be that goal record. There's something more behind
this
this issue.
accusation of the goal record was actually made by the coach McBriars, who was sacked. So it's not Pierre Palorumo. The coach who was sacked, that was appointed by the Ministry of Sport, was the one who came out to say, look, this is why Eto is influencing the omission of Vincent Abubakar. Vincent Abubakar is the team captain.
Mm.
He's their main mask man. He's a goal scorer. You get, and he's chasing a particular record. If you're the federation president, you have a player like that who is hungry to break a record. It's good for your team. He's going to get you goals. Why are you dropping him from the squad? Why do you have to? It doesn't even make sense. Okay, so fine. Vincent Abubakar was dropped. Why is Andre Onana not on the list?
I think if you look at Onana's also too, you could say maybe a power play as regards his performances when it comes to the national team. As regards his performance when it comes to the national team. We saw what happened during the last AFCON. Onana's behavior and all of those things was almost causing, a disarray on the team. So I'm not surprised, even if a lot of people are surprised that Onana did not make that list. I just think for Onana, it could be more of behavioral for not making the list.
I think Eto has pride and he has character issues. Samuel Eto'o has character issues, and I'm going to say this very clearly. And I remember why I said Samuel Eto'o has character issues. It's very simple. Look, I saw an interview he granted, and he was talking about who he thinks is a better striker or was a better player between Thierry Henry and Nicolas Anelka. And Samuel Eto'o stood in front of the camera and said he thinks Nicolas Anelka was a greater player than
It just has the same
than
thing,
Thierry. That was the day I started looking at him like,
I just feel that
I'm like, bro, hold on.
Mhm.
Like, what? And I think his pride is part of the reasons why he fell out with Samuel Guardiola. And he could no longer play under Guardiola when Guardiola came. So he seems to have transferred that attitude to his management. He has a
Administration.
terrible man management style. If federations in Africa always have issues. The Gabonese players have slept in an airport before. Emmanuel Adebayo once paid the flight for an entire team to go to a particular qualifying tournament when he was Togolese captain. The Nigerian national team, let's not even get started. But one thing that is reoccurrent since Samuel Eto'o became federation president in Cameroon is that there's always a fallout with players. He tends to want to take charge of everything. It's troubling.
I think this is a big trouble because I'm actually one of those people who used to say give ex-footballers the opportunity to run into administrations like this, and having to see someone like Samuel Eto'o himself, with the experience, what he has gone through, what he faced as a player, and still replicating all of these things to the current Cameroonian players. It's trouble for me. Too much of trouble. Like, I really don't see why this should be happening. Last time during the AFCON competition, I could remember that he was also controlling from the upper room, giving key instructions. Remove this one, bring this one. I'm like,
So if you want
don't
to coach,
need all
go
of
get
this.
a coaching license
You
and
don't need all of this.
appoint yourself as national team coach and let's see what you can do. Because it doesn't make sense if you wanted to coach, bro. UEFA is there for you. You've seen Yaya Toure, Kolo Toure, they're all getting coaching licenses. Michael Essien has gotten his coaching license. You should go get one. If you want to be the federation president, please be the federation president, appoint a coach, let the coach do their job, because the Ministry of Sports should not be appointing a national team coach. I'm sorry to say this. No, they have. I don't know how they do it in Cameroon, but I ordinarily think that the responsibility of appointing a national team coach rests solely on the shoulders of the Football Federation and their technical committee. They appoint and they forward the name to the Ministry of Sports. So if the Ministry of Sports is even appointing a national team coach for you, it's an abnormality. And it's probably because you've not handled your house well. That's why they have to step in. So I'm just wondering and I'm waiting to see.
And funny enough, if they don't get to sort all of this out, this might also affect the performances of the player because you
It
know
will. It will
because
affect their performance.
at the end of the day, we don't want issues whereby when the AFCON starts, they don't have a coach
And I
yet.
would have
You know,
said they should their presidency should step in, but their president they work remotely because age no let demand themselves no gree allow demand rest. I mean, it's such an unfortunate and sad situation in Cameroon, and it just looks like there's nobody running the place. It's a show of shame, completely, completely disastrous, and it could have been avoided. But that's our wrap for today on Football Temple Nigeria. Don't forget that this show is packaged, produced, and shot at the Dynamite Space.
that's
My
right.
name is Nemeko Denibo, and I did not do this alone. I did it with
Jamie in the building. Great to see you guys again and again. Hopefully, next in our next edition, we get to see all of you get to watch us.
live from the viewing centers around Nigeria. And of course, don't forget that we will be bringing you live report from the African Cup of Nations in Morocco, live from the venues, real time action, fans' reaction, the opening ceremony in Morocco. And of course, we're urging you to stay tuned. Keep watching this channel, like, subscribe, share. Let people know that this is where you're getting all your, burning football gist from. And of course, yeah, we'll let you know which of the national teams Cameroon is going with. We'll let you know which of them will wear the jerseys. We'll let you know which of the coaches will be in charge. And we'll let you know if Samuel is finally going to hang up his administrative suit and wear the boots to come and play. Because at this point, the like say the man want to run everything. Coach, footballer, even administrator. If he leave himself to contest president, go on Graham. And on that note, we call it a wrap on today's edition of Football Temple Nigeria. Thank you very much.